Can I start now? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I'll start the
We,
meeting.
sure.
A very good evening to one and all present here. We hope everyone is having a great evening as we have gathered here today for this enlightening session. In a world where progress is rapid, it has become a necessity to keep up. But no one said we could do this alone. So today we are here not just to listen, but to connect to the circuits of knowledge, inspiration, and mentorship. It is my honor to welcome you to today's podcast. We have with us a professional currently working as an engineer in Synopsys Inc. Having graduated from the University of Technology, RGPV, and further completed an MTech in VLSI design from VIT. She is not only an industry expert, but also an esteemed mentor and motivational speaker. Using diverse platforms, she helps young minds and future engineers with interview preparation, resume building, career advice, and personal growth. She is someone who truly embodies her own phrase. Electronics is my life, lighting is my love. As we prepare to explore the marvels of this electrifying domain, let's extend a warm welcome to someone who is the epitome of both technical brilliance and the spirit of mentorship. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ms. Dimple Mondhe. Um, can carry on.
You. How are you all? You guys cannot unmute yourself and speak because I see there is a mark. But yeah, there are presenters. So is this an audience of first year, second year, and third year? Am I right, Karthik? Kathir, sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
So these are the all 3 year students, right?
yes, ma'am.
Ah, okay. I will not take much of a time. I will just start presenting. I have prepared some of the slide to just get an overview of about all about this from industry to academy or academy to industry on the VLSI or the semiconductor. And this is very basic. This is very layman because I saw there are first year students as well. I cannot prepare just for the third year, right? So at the last, we'll take some question and answers. If you have any doubts or if you want to ask me anything, just shoot it. Okay. Let me present. Let me know if everyone can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am, Mrs. Good.
Good. Okay. So I think Kathir has already introduced about what we are going to discuss today. So it is just an introduction to the semiconductor technology, or you can say I'm not going to give you any idea, or I'm not going here to teach you about what is MOSFET or all about any semiconductor basics, but I'm just here to overview about what exactly are the expectations from the young minds like you. It's not changing. Okay. So I'll start today by, as anyway Katir has introduced, but I'll start with my introduction. As you all know my name, I am Dimple. Previously, I was working with Intel and I started my career as an intern in Intel. I was with different teams, different business groups. When I start working, I started with the methodology group, which was again an R&D, where I was working with the principal engineer. It's the highest form of a technical, you can say, the mentor, where we work with them. And I was working across projects, across technology nodes in Intel. And then I moved to the different business group in Intel, which is now as in Altera, which is an individual entity whose CEO is Sandra Rivera. And then I worked for quite a few months there. And then I took a leap to the Synopsys. So this year's April, I joined Synopsys as an R&D engineer, and I am into the Foundry team there. We are a part of a Foundry ecosystem team where we are working with the different Foundry partners to just to get that what they are actually looking for. So I will always work on the advanced node, which is not in the industry as of now. So let's say if we talk about there is a 7 nanometer or 5 nanometer, I'm already beyond working for it because the foundries are working beyond those ones, right? To get those things in the market. So I'm working with, let's say, TSMC, Samsung, there are new Japan foundries, and then there are other Intel foundries. So with all the foundries, I'm working to push the PPAs because I think it's all about PPA and semiconductor, right? So let's move forward and let me tell you, like, I know that there are a lot of questions for you, and moreover, the people focuses on how to bridge the gap between this academy and the industry, what the industry looks like, right? And in today's day, maybe for the first year student, they don't even know what the semiconductor industry is all about, or maybe third year student haven't not decided if they wanted to choose VLSI, they want to go to the semiconductor, or they wanted to go somewhere or some other job profiles, right? So I'm here to bridge that gap. You can ask me any questions you want. I'll just walk through my PPT or the presentations which I have for you today. I will not teach you anything, just to be very specific, but I'm here to help. Yeah. So when I say this, bridging the gap right between the academia and the industry, so the thing is that it's not moreover a very different thing. Whatever we study, whatever the so it's if you see if you're in any competitive exams, what we always talk about or what we always tell is what it's just like the basics, 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 right? It is all just the basics and it all just the base, right? If you want to know about, so you have to start with like what is VLSI, what is semiconductor, what does industry do, right? And what is an academic and what is an electronics engineer or an electrical engineer or whatever the traits you have now. What can I do to go into these industries or what skill sets I need to have or to admit into these industries, right? So just this is just for the first year students because I just wanted to make sure that the every or each student should know what is VLSI, and VLSI, as you all know, it stands for the very large scale integration, right? This is what the field you can simply think about that this is just a field which involves in packaging the logic devices, the simple logic devices into a very smaller area or very smaller area, right? Because it's maybe a palm or maybe just my fingertips or maybe just a four fingers, right? And it is a process of creating an IC. It's an integrated chip. I didn't put any pictures here, but you can Google because that's your homework for do what and dig deeper, right? Because after this presentation, I want you guys to go and read about it, read papers about it, do some research about it, whatever questions you have in your mind, right? Because I think there's a vast sea of this knowledge and this is a very vast industry which a lot of people still don't know. When I tell, oh, when I tell, okay, I'm working in Intel, they feel like, okay, it's in software, they're working in software, but it's not like that. I'm not into software. I'm not a software engineer. I'm into semiconductor. And I always tell that, okay, this is what the Silicon Valley do, and I'm into semiconductor. I have to explain to each and every, even though in a layman, people don't understand. Now, with this government things coming up, what all these projects coming in, people are a little bit aware of what a semiconductor industry is, right? Because of the foundries or the plants. So I wanted to ask you, I know that there is a lot of people can't unmute, but still one of the presenter can tell me what is this? What is this image looks like? I think these are third students and you can definitely answer. Tell me, Kartir, Uday, or do I have to take the names? I just want anyone to tell me what this image is. Guys, am I audible? Are you guys listening to me?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am, you're audible.
good, good. The answers are there, right? Yes, this is a silicon wafer. What do you think? You can again answer in the chat box. What this silicon wafer is of use of? Like what is that? What does this silicon wafer do? I just wanted to listen and I just wanted to understand till what extent a student should know. Have you ever seen a silicon wafer? Or okay, I'll just go ahead and I'll tell. So with the silicon wafer, right, this is what the post-silicon, uh, I can say, yeah, this is what the post-silicon looks like. What we do is a pre-silicon things, as an engineer or as a PD engineer or as a backend engineer, what we do is when the architecture designs it, okay, let's say there is a chip, it designs a chip, and then there is what we do, RTL, which they are writing a code and let's say Verilog, VHDL, and then we synthesize it. We are converting those Verilog into an logic gates, right? And after synthesis, we do a floor plan. Okay, in floor plan, we'll just I'm just giving in a very lameish language. Okay, okay, this is what the area looks like for a chip. And then, okay, where are my macros? Macros are like the hard IPs. Let's say you talk about analog IPs like PLL or oscillators. Where do I keep them? Where are the ports needs to be, right? This is what the floor plan is like, a house floor plan, right? We'll do the floor plan. When once the floor plan is done, we'll do the placement. Placement is like you're placing the logic gates, you're placing the transistors there, right? And then after the placement, you'll do the CTS where there's a clock tree synthesis. You build a clock tree from where the clock comes, where it goes, and all this clock distribution you do. And then there is a routing, which is just a simple, again, it's just a wiring kind of, you can see. And then there are all the checks which you do, and then there is a tape in. After that, it's a post silicon work. In this silicon wafer, all these small rectangle pieces or a square pieces is a chip. Okay, this whole is a chip. This when we do the post silicon fabrication in a silicon wafer, we build the chips. Maybe there are 100 chips, 200 chips in each wafer. There is a chip, right? And let's say if there is 100 chips out of 100, if there is a 75 chips which is working and 25 is not working, that's we called as an yield. I think this is also you should note down and you should go and read about it. What is the yield? Yield is what it said when you talk about the loss or the profit or everything. This is what you call as a yield. So let's say I am building a post fabrication. I'm building these 100 chips in a single wafer, and then only 75 is working, 25 is not working. Then I will say, okay, only I am having a 75% of the yield with this chip, right, which I have built. So this is what this even this is all this square piece as a single piece is a chip. So this is what so when I started my career, a lot of folks didn't know all about this, but now there's a lot of data isn't already available on YouTube's, on LinkedIn, on I don't know what all websites you have. But this is what it is like. You have to start preparing from the basics. From it is from the basics. I will always tell this whenever I talk to someone or like where from where I have to start. You just start the basics. And you know what? There is no rocket science. And in interviews also, if people will be like worrying about what they'll ask, they will not ask you any rocket science because you are a freshers. You just have to have a good understanding of your academics, right? Let's move forward. You know this person, right? This is a Gordon Murray, and you know the rule. I don't know if you everyone are. I think yeah, this is a basic in your educational books or whatever the subjects you have. There will be this Murray's law, right? That the transistors are doubling with every year. So this is a very old graph which I have just pasted here to look to show you how the transistor trend line looks like, right? From the year 59 to let's say 75 or now 2020 or 25. And if some of you are into this or into semiconductor or interested, you might be reading a lot of things, right? Okay. There was BJTs earlier, right? The junction transistors, and that there's a MOSFET. Now there is a FinFET, and then now it's a gate all around, which we call it as a ribbon FET. So you should be knowing, right? Okay. So when I joined company, and I was all like, oh, MOSFET is a very new device. This is what it is and all. But now there is a FinFET. Oh, there is a Fin. Okay. You can control the gate from the both side. And then now it's a gate all around. Oh, so this is something really new. So, this is how the industry works. So you have to get yourself also updated with all the basics and all the, how should I say, all the things which industries are going through. So this is what that you have to cope up with the trend. And then you can enter into whatever industry you want or wherever you want to be. So just for the semiconductor, I'm speaking specifically about the semiconductor. Now, recent trend in CMOS technology, right? That I just told you. So there's a planar, and then there's a FinFET, and there is a gate all around, right? So with the operating voltage and then the process technology node, you can see, there is a node which is so beyond that. Lot of industries, if you will see, okay, Nvidia is doing really good, Intel is not doing good, Intel technology node didn't come into picture. Why? You should go and read about it. That what happened to Intel, right? Why they are not able to match with industry specifics. So let's say I'll give an example, a very small example. Let's say one company is any XYZ company, and I'm Intel or I'm Apple or anyone. So they come up with saying, okay, I am building this product and I'm building this Mac or a laptop or something. I'm looking for this particular chip where it should work on 5 gigahertz. I want this particular area. So there is a specification he'll come up with to me, and I'll be like, okay, I'll design that chip for you. But will I be able to do that? And I have a timeline, right? They wanted to get their product out in another 6 months, and there are other rivals of me, which maybe they'll be able to do in 3 months. So if let's say if I'm not able to do, what will happen? This is a competitive environment here in all the industry or any industry. You talk about semiconductor, you talk about tech or any software as well, right? What will happen if they can do it in 4 months, and if I'm not doing in what 6 months? What will happen, right? I have to bear a loss of in terms of hardware, in terms of my engineers, in terms of their pay, right? So there are a lot of things which includes, and when we talk about industry, how this happens, it is not just a simple plain things, right? Why these companies go up and down, why the stocks get this things. You have to go and read about it. You have to do some research and analysis, and why the job market is low. When people say why the job market is low, what is happening? You should go and see the trend. And there's a trend comes in when you feel low about it. Okay, this is not happening. You should know, oh, there is a layoff in all the companies going on. Where should I pitch in? Where should I find a job? Right? Why the companies are not coming in? If they're not coming, why they're not taking a lot of engineers if that's the need? Why they are not hiring? So there's a lot of thing which is interconnected, and you should have to have this knowledge to understand what's going on all around us in the industry, what is going on in the world, right? So this is what the industry shifts you can say, or the technology shifts you can say, and why this is happening, or what the companies are doing. So then only you can make the good or the right choices for yourself. Now I will whatever I've spoke about the semiconductor or about any of the things, I'll tell you the challenges for hiring freshers. So let's say I get a lot of resumes on daily basis. I'm not able to cope up with all the people replying to them and all. If let's say I'm going for hiring freshers and all, what I have noticed is what a lack of fundamentals. I'm asking a very basic questions to a student. Okay, can you make a universal gate out of any of this logic gate? And they're struggling to do it. Why? I don't understand. If you know the gates, right? If you know the AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, whatever logic gates is there, and then I think you should be, if you know the Boolean expressions of all those logic gate, I think you should be able to do, or you should be able to drive this universal gates, right? What is so hard about it, or what is the rocket science is in it? So it's like going one by one, chapter one by one. Okay, if I'm starting to do the logic gates, okay, I have to fulfill this. And if any question comes around this, I know the logic gate, I know the Boolean expression, I know the truth table. I don't think so any other thing can come in this picture. I can do anything if I know the knowledge of this. Right? So this is what I talk about the fundamentals, because when the student comes to me, I'll ask them very basic question, very basic in terms of inverters, in terms of a NOT gate, in terms of logic gates, and a very basic idea of if I'm hiring for a very specific skill set, I'll ask them in terms of those skill set. So of course, right, I'm going to give any interview, I have to prepare for that particularly. So that's what I have feel that, okay, there's a lack of fundamentals, there is a lack of skill sets, there is a lack of industry standard projects. What students are doing is I don't know. Like I will not say that students are not doing good. A lot of students are doing really well, really awesome. I mean, I'll say when I was at their age, I was like, oh, I didn't know this, but they are doing very extra um how would I say this, like they're like marvelous in their projects and their study and their jobs. So I just recently went to one of the college in Bangalore. I forgot the name. It's a very famous college. I went for some of this project review. So it was some government funding project where I have to review the ideas or the startup ideas from the students, and they did really well. I was so impressed that, oh my God, that students are doing the startups now, and at third year, at second year, they are doing this, and the governments are funding their projects. And that was a inter college thing. A lot of other college people and the private folks also was there to present their ideas, and we have to review and shortlist so that they can submit, and government will fund 15 lakhs for each of their startup or the projects which they were doing. So I will say this is again the lack of industry standard project, maybe the lack of mentors, lack of good teachers, you can say that, right? Then there is a lack of soft skill. This is, I will stress for this particular point, because if let's say I'm a very good dancer, I'm a very good singer, maybe I'm a good singer than any other singers in the industry, but if I don't have a stage to perform or to give my knowledge or to share my knowledge, what will I do about it, right? Same thing goes for the soft skills. What happens now? Sometimes you know everything, but you're not able to express them, but you're not able to and this soft skill art will be mastered with practice, with the environment you are in, your day to day life. What are the actions you are taking for those soft skills? So, this, whatever the points which are here in colored, is every, um, how would I say this? Every basic steps which is a part of your bigger success, right? This is the simplest steps for your bigger success. I will not say about the college or a brand name, but sometimes the companies have their strict criteria that they won't go beyond this. Okay, that I won't be going to this college or that college. This is a very common slide. This is not for NIT I'm saying. But yeah, this is also, and there are some other factors where students individually has their own reasons, right? And the other factor comes here in this challenges for hiring freshers. The others are very less. I mean, in terms of, let's say, if I have five folks, you need to be best out of one, right? Best out of five for that one job. So you need to make sure that just think about it. Okay, I am very good about it. I know I have all the knowledge. My interview was good, but I didn't get selected. Why? What happened wrong? Maybe the other four candidates were better than me. Maybe their soft skills were good. Maybe their industry standard project was good. Something would have been there in all these points, which has surpassed ours. Maybe that's why we are not there. And then it comes for the preparation. So whenever there is a failure or a setback comes in our life or anywhere, what we go back, we think about it, what went wrong. You can't simply jump into the solution, right? What happens whenever a problem comes, a simple math problem comes, or in our um let's say in our subject, if some problems come, so what we will do, we directly don't jump into the solution, right? We think about it, what went wrong, why this math problem is not getting solved, or if I'm not getting into any interview, what is happening? Is my resume is not good enough for getting shortlisted? So, this is where the preparation comes. So, very from the very starting, first is you have to make up your mind what you want from your life. You have to just be very sure about it. You want to go into this industry, that industry. I want to do the further studies in terms of MTech, MBA, or whatever you want to choose. And then comes the preparation. So, because I am here to bridge the gap and I'm here particularly for the semiconductor industry, I will tell you about the preparations as well. This is very basic points I have written, like in terms of resume, cover letter. Cover letter is not necessary for all what the freshers is, but yeah, resume is one thing. Your LinkedIn profile, maybe if I'm too much inquisitive about what this person looks like, I will go and check his LinkedIn profile, right? What his wrote, what he posts, or something like that. And that this Coursera, Udemy, this industry oriented courses, why I have written is sometimes, what happens that, let's say after a BTech degree or after undergrad or master grad, what happens is there are some areas which we lack. But what I'll say is there is nothing you can't do. If there is some topic which you are very weak on and you think this is very important for me, okay, let's say you talk about Verilog language or something, because they will ask you, right, as a fresher, they will ask you all the four-dimensional 5D questions. You can't specific to be one area until and unless it's a very specific skill set they might have asked for. What you have to do is prepare for it. So there is lots and lots of websites. There's lot of IIT professors lectures or the professors lectures, I'll say in common, which will give you a very good insight. If you talk about the MOSFET, I'll tell you, when I was at your age and I was in a third year or a second year student, I had to study this MOSFET, right? What will I do? What I did is I went to the YouTube, I saw this Rizavi big, because that's what I was referring to earlier also. There's a professor or the book Razavi for the analog. He explained it so well. It's so well that it has what do you say, that is permanently stored in my brain about the MOSFET. This is how the basic he has started from. So there are very tips and tricks to do anything like this. But I will always tell the students who are preparing for the placements or for further studies or for whatever in your career, it all starts from the right direction and the guidance, right? Aptitude is optional for the companies. You have to go and check, okay, this company takes aptitude, this company don't take. And again, it depends upon what you are preparing for. Thorough knowledge of engineering subjects is, yes, of course, I'll say this. The basic of scripting is important because nowadays there's a lot of automation in the industry which we are working on. There is Python, there is Tickle, there is Perl. Any language you choose or you pick, and then you have to start just the basic of it, because you don't have to write a very big course like a software engineers, but you have to write some basics to make your life easy, right? If I wanted to sort some files, compare some files. So this is what you should be knowing. That's why the basic of scripting is really important. If you take a company like Google or Microsoft, they have their structural interview pattern where they'll be asking you some of the basic scripting questions. There will be behavioral rounds. So, this is what a very FANG or MANG type of companies do. They have their structure, they follow this, and you have to um, prepare, be prepared for it, right? Thank you so much for listening to me. And this is just an overview of what I think and what should I be telling you. But I'm more interested in what you guys have for me, right? So I think I wanted to listen from you. That's just 5:33. If we can start the Q&A because I'm more interested in answering your question rather than just delivering this session. Kathir, Uday, um,
We have a few
Adit.
questions to ask. Can we?
Sure, sure. We'll take the questions one by one, right? Okay. So will this be in a chat box or will the people will unmute
First, we'll
themselves
be
and ask
asking a
me?
few questions.
Okay, sure. You can go ahead and ask me. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead,
yeah.
Kathir.
First of all, what made you choose VLSI as your major for masters? Would you suggest it to other aspiring students in the terms of the market situation?
Definitely yes. So my answer is yes, but I'll give you an explanation as well. So it comes with an interest, Kathir. One thing is whenever you choose any trade or anything, what happens is you need to think about why I'm jumping into this, whether will I be able to do it. So why I choose VLSI is I was an electronics student in my undergraduation. I love the basic electronics and whatever these concepts were. So you might be having this subjects. I don't know how the curriculum has been changed in these many years, but I had this basic electronic subjects in my second year, and I loved it. Every little detail of it, like the K maps, the logic gates, everything. It was so good, and it interested me. Like I was taking too much of interest in this signal and system, control system. So these were the subjects, right? I built the interest when I was going for my master. I was very sure that I wanted to do the MTech. Okay. What happens is when I was going, there was a lot of other branches like digital, there was embedded, there was VLSI, but you need to look at the trend also sometimes. But I always tell that you follow your passion. But what I saw upcoming or forthcoming, whatever on based of my research, if you see the semiconductor industry is on boom. If you see that, okay, the people who are really interested, I will suggest you to start preparing for it and get into in semiconductor. The pay they give to the freshers, right? This is tremendous. For the internship, they are paying so much now. So for a person after a BTech or a MTech joining a software company is getting, I don't know, maybe less than 50% of what semiconductor industry is paying because it's a very niche profile, not everyone pursue. So let's say if you have a class of 60 folks, I don't know if everyone will go for masters, right? Maybe there were 20 people who will do the MTech or MBA or some kind of specifications. And then out of those 20, don't you think that everyone will get placed? No. And then everyone don't want to go in the same branch or same things, right? There it makes a difference. And that's why there's a lot of demand in semiconductor industry, right? Just a moment. There is someone at the door. I'm working from home. Can you just hold for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Hello. Yeah, I think I have answered your question, Kathi, right? For everyone's
Yes.
question, that it is definitely, if you are thinking about it, you should go for it. Go for MTech or go for the master's degree or in MTech in microelectronics or VLSI, whatever suits you.
Yeah, okay.
Ma'am, the next question is, how can students efficiently deal with failures or setbacks while pursuing research or technical projects? What do you think?
Okay, so this is a bit tough, because it's a human nature. You can't hold off. But one thing I'll suggest is having consistent mind or a strong mind makes it easy. And when I say strong mind means, let's say if you're in the middle of a project or in your subjects or in terms of results, if you get fail, right? And this is human nature that you'll get sad. What you can do about it? Because every person has their individual personality of what they like. Okay. Let's say if you're feeling down today, you are something into it, or your some favorite activities are there at least for a short period of time, what you can do is just unwind yourself by not looking at what results you have, and just go to the activities which you like just for that particular period of time, there is a word called as disconnect from for some time for what you are into, will help you to go a really long way. So let's say if I have a bad day at work, what should I do? I can't sit here in front of the computer thinking about it that okay, this doesn't work, my code didn't work, or my chip or my design is not working, or my timing is not getting close. What should I do? Just get a break, right? Do a break, and I have to do what I like about it. So that's a very short period of time. For the long period, see, eventually, in terms of PhD or research you talk about, we have to do it right. And there will be ups and downs and ups and downs. This is what life also looks like. If you see your heart ECG, right, it should be ups and downs. If it is a straight, there is no meaning of it. So that's what it is, right? When you get your low points, you have to just unwind with something which you like, change your mind, change a topic for that particular day, for that particular subject, and start doing something else. If you like dancing, go for that. If you feel like taking a hot water bath, do that. If you want to go and enjoy with your friends, you want to do binge eating, you do that. You wanted to binge Netflix, you do that. So just do something, take a break and feel good, and just come back to it again. I think this is the best way to do it. I don't think so there is any other code or something, or a magic something which can do it. It is who you have to pick you up, and make a good friend circle. I will suggest everyone, the folks you are with or the friends you have, nobody should be pulling someone down. If your friends are doing that, you are not with the right person. Your friend should make you feel good. Okay. If you are not doing good for that particular time, your friend should be there to support you. You should, feel to get your hearts out with your friends. It is not something like you should feel insulted. Oh, this is what has happened. I don't know how to share with them. Or if they're making fun of you and your friend should bounce, but you should be able to bounce back to your friends. So, get a good circle, get a good folks with you, and then you'll go a long way, because that's what I think the human are, because it's a social animal, right? For the students, I'll say this. Yeah. I hope that I'm answering and it is helpful. I'm answering your questions and it is hopeful for the folks here in the call.
Yeah, it is helpful. It is.
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah. Hi, Satvik.
Ma'am,
Yes.
could you tell us some essential topics we need to focus on to secure a job in the VLSI industry?
Yeah. So, you have the subjects, whatever, but basic things which the VLSI folks ask in an interview for the freshers, I'll just give you. If you have a pen and a paper or something, please, all of you who are listening to this call, just note it down, right? So, digital electronics basics. When I say basics, it is all started with logic gates. It starts with the MOSFET, FinFET, gate all around. This all you need to study the K-map, all those things which comes under the digital. No, you need to study each and everything. This transistor, inverters, CMOS, stick diagrams, how it helps, what are the layouts, right? You need to understand the whole VLSI flow. You need to study what the VLSI flow is all about, right? Where I explained you synthesis, floor planning, placement, CTS, routing. This is what a VLSI flow looks like. And then there is a fabrication process. You need to study that as well. What the fabrication or the fab lab do, this lithography process or whatever, this etching and all, right? This is also, so this is all but basic level. I don't want you to go and be an expert about it, but you should be knowing because people will come and ask you. Then I'll give an example of what the questions would be. The question, if I don't know, maybe this will only be understandable by the third year student, but I'll tell you. If you know about the flops, right? The latches. They'll ask you what are flops, what is latch, what is a D flip flop, what is the difference between a latch and a flop, right? These questions. They might ask you to write a Verilog code for a D flip flop. This is the very base. So in terms of Verilog, if I wanted to ask, what I'll ask you is write a code of in Verilog for a D flip flop. You need to do that. Then in terms of physical design, ASIC. ASIC subject is something also you need to study a lot, and you'll get a lot of question in interview for that. Like what is a setup time? What is a hold time? Right? What is skew? What is latency? right? All these very basic things they'll ask you. What is a clock period? What is a setup time equation? What is the whole time equation? Is a third year student knowing all these things? I mean, do you understand what I'm talking about, the physical design thing? Do you know what a setup or a whole time? Have you ever heard about it? In any of the subjects, do you have this physical design flow or something? No? Any
I don't
third
know,
year
ma'am. I
student
guess
can have.
third years will have,
Right,
yes, I can
you
guess
might
everything.
have this, right? So definitely they'll ask you this: what is the setup time, what is the whole time, what is the required time, arrival. So there is an equation for the setup and all this, right? So this is what they'll ask. Again, the other topic would be the power, dynamic power, short circuit power. What are these? What does a total power consist of? Why there is a leakage power? Where it comes from? Right? What is a dynamic power? What happens? Why we have to look for a dynamic power or a short circuit power? They'll ask you this. And then there is a clock tree. So in the clock, they'll ask you this skew and all, right? And in terms of a design perspective, what happens is in a design, if there is a congestion, design can't go out for a timing or for a tape and right. So they can ask you why there is a congestion in designs and all those questions. So just get a feel of it, what the basic VLSI flow looks like and the basic questions about it. If I'm not sure if I have something, but if I have something documented, I would like to share with you. I think Uday is already in contact with me. If I'll get something, I'll share with him and he can pass you all along.
Ma'am, our final question is, in our preparation for the various exams or even placement interviews and tests, what are the main qualities we should brush up on, do you think?
Uh, so main qualities would be, let's say, first thing is for whom you are interviewing. Let's say about the company. If you're going for an interview of a Google, Microsoft, Intel, Nvidia, any company, Infosys, TCS, I will not say for the electronic student those, but I'm just telling the name about. Just have a feel about what this company do. You will get from some notification or a mail from your placement coordinator telling, okay, this is what the company is coming for and this is what the profile they're looking for. Just go and Google about it, what this profile looks like. If they are hiring for an intern, maybe some specific team will come to for you to hire yourself. Okay, just go and read about it. What kind of, so in VLSI, I'll just give you a brief about what the profile looks like. So there is a backend profile, which is a physical design engineer profile, and then there is a verification profile. There is a front end profile, which is an RTL. There is an architecture profile. Layout people are different. Post silicon validations are different. So there is a lot of profile. I don't know for which profile they are coming to interview you, right? But out of all this profile, what the basic is, what the most basic thing is transistor. They'll ask you everything about transistor. There is a transistor effects, short channel effects, right? You should all be knowing this, this pinch off effect. So for a transistor, I would suggest to go and read every little detail about it. Okay, how the equation works and um, other things about all the basics. Okay, so I think, yeah, this is one thing. Apart from this is get your soft skill in place. At least try to have your intro prepared. The tips which I will give you is, you prepare your intro, write it down, write it in a paper, and then you try to, uh, how do I say this, just read once a day. Okay, and then you try to speak with yourself how you're looking at. So your intro should not be very big. Just tell about, if you're good CGP or something, you can mention those things, that okay, I come from this college, this branch. I'm very much interested in your company. I'm very much looking for this profile. Whatever your CGPA, if you holds, if you want to tell them, you can tell this, and maybe a place from where you come from. You are from Kolkata, you are from Tamil Nadu or Kerala or anywhere, please. So this is what a basic intro should look like. You can tell about the subjects you have, and in your resume also, please be very specific, and your resume should be very professional. Okay, just don't go blindly about it, because that's a very important part. It shows you, because you're selling yourself as a brand. So you just think about it, that resume is how do I say, it's a ticket to sell yourself, because I don't know there, or I don't know any of the Satvik or Ankit or Pamur, all these folks, right? Omkar, Veera, I don't know these guys. But if I'm getting a resume out of it, I should know, okay, this is what he has written, this is a CGP, this is the subject he has, this is the project he has done. Be very good about what the projects you're writing. You should write all the tools which you have worked on. Write a very brief about what project you have done. So, it should be like, okay, impressed. And don't do very khichdi kind of a resume. Be very proper, professional, with proper, how do you say, fonts and everything. Don't do, okay, this is a very big 18 fonts and something is in very 12. Very aligned, very sleek, not too detailed, not too less, not too extra. Okay. So this is what some points you can work on. Soft skill, technically you have to be strong enough to crack those interview. And in today's date, students are not getting a chance for the interview. So if you're getting it, or if you're lucky enough to get those, be sure that you will be able to crack that. You should be able to crack that. That should be your target. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, ma'am, we will have our chat box session right now. Attendees can ask their questions in the chat.
Okay, ma'am, we know about Murray's law, but how the transistor doubles every 2 years? I mean, in what way they increase? Do you think that the transistors increase automatically? No, right? It's an hardware device. It doesn't. When they say that it doubles, it's like the device is getting shorter, but the transistor numbers are getting bigger. So earlier days, if I have a chip, maybe I'm using only, let's say, 1 lakh transistor, but now it's in millions. So that's how it is getting doubled with every particular year, or this is what it means, Satvik. But you have asked me this question. I will give you that homework, that go and just study about this is very important. I think this can be a question for the interview, that they'll ask you, or what is a Moore's law? They'll ask you. So you can go and read about it, study about it. What do companies look for in an intern? This is asked by Sujata. Okay. Hi, Sujata. For the interns or for the freshers, company don't have much of a very vast expectations. Very basic is what you should have a decent CGPA, because see, the competition is so much. They won't be going for the students who have a very less CGPA, because CGPA, at least for our Indian standards or our Indian curriculum, it defines like what the students are. I am I'm not saying that CGPA defines your worth, but yeah, CGPA holds some importance. So I will suggest every student, especially when they go for masters and all, CGPA is very important. If you see IITians or something, they have the CGPAs above 9. I also had to make my CGPA like that, at least in MTech. But in BTech, please make sure that you get a decent CGPA. So that is very important, Sujata, for the interns or for the freshers. The second thing would be, what I expect from an intern is they should know some basics. So why will I say this is you might be all be thinking that why this Dimple is talking about basics. So it's because I'm not expecting the student to know all what the industry do, right? I am not thinking that they should know the rocket science about it. I'm not asking you to solve some equation which we write in a paper, or the question or the university answers, right? Do you have to write the MOSFET equation something? Why? What I want from you is you should be know what is dynamic power, what is short circuit power, because this is your day to day life looks in the industry. So let's say when you come, there is a design we both are working on, and there is a power target. If it is not meeting, I will you will come you have seen the design and you come up with say, okay, Dimple, this dynamic power is looking very high. We need to go and see what can we do to reduce this dynamic power, and if you don't know what is dynamic power, what we will talk about it, right? So that's why I'm saying the basics or the concept should be very clear. Whenever I take an interview, I ask very basic question. I don't do much of a very complex questions to them, because they should be knowing what is a latch. If the people don't know what is latch, what is a D flip flop, what is a point, right? They should be knowing what a flip flop do, what a latch does, how it works, their equations or something like that. So this is what they should be know, what is a basic VLSI flow. So companies don't look any specific things, Sujata, or to everyone. They just look about what you have And other thing is what you have write in your resume. When you write any project in your resume, be prepared that you know everything, because sometime whole interview is all about your projects. They will not even ask you any other question, but they'll ask you about your projects only. Make sure that it is just not the copy paste. Even though if you're copy pasting your projects, you should be knowing about it. So whatever you're writing in your resume is has a very significance important. If you're writing this project is done by you and they will ask you to explain your projects, be prepared for it, that okay, this is what you have done. Ma'am, can I have a chance to talk to you? I think we are talking, Satvik. uh I'm not really sure how to unmute. Allow mic. I think, yeah. Yeah, I've allowed you. Satvik, you can ask me.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening.
It's great to meet you, ma'am. I have a query,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm pursuing my graduation in ECE.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, I have a query regarding if we prepare for GATE, is it sufficient for the placement preparation?
Sorry, there is a background noise. I didn't understand your question.
If we prepare for GATE, it is enough for the placement preparation.
Um, you probably can write in the
Hello.
chat box. I will read it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. Is the GATE preparation is enough for the placement, ma'am?
Can you just code his answer for me? Code his question for me. Any of the
Ma'am,
person
I
car.
think he's asking if
Mm-hmm.
pursuing GATE exam is enough for masters.
Oh, yeah. It is the exam for the masters, Satvik. Let me mute you because there's a background noise. Okay. GATE exam is a door for the masters, because to get into NITs, you have to write the GATE. GATE is for PSUs also. If you're holding a very good AIR rank, you'll get into the PSUs like IOCL and whatever for electronics or whatever the branches they have the positions for. But through GATE, you can go. Otherwise, there are the deemed university like BITS Pilani and all. They have their own exams for the masters. So definitely, yes, I will suggest you. And anyway, this all have a common preparation for GATE would lead you to the MTech and MTech curriculum, because that is also technical, and what MTech we study is also technical. So it's all match. You should definitely write your GATE exam if you are interested into it. Okay, because if you get a good rank or good percentile there, you can get into an IITs, NITs from wherever you want to pursue the masters. So yes, Sanjeev Darsh. What are all the study materials such as websites and YouTube channel for learning VLSI, ma'am? So, okay, Sanjeev, what I'll tell you is you start from topic wise topic, and one leads to the another. Let's say if you're studying something today, you stuck at something and you have a question, you go and Google about it. There are hundreds of websites which will open, and you just click on open a tab, and then you go and see, for one particular topic there will be 10 tabs, but there will be only two blocks which is written very beautifully, and you will find, okay, wow, this is what I was looking for. So this is what Sanjeev study. But when I say there is a lot of platforms, there is not a single particular platform, but I'll tell you there is a VLSI expert, which is very good. Let me just Google it if it is there. I'll share you here the link. Yeah, vlsiexpert.com. It has all the I will say the basic or everything VLSI concepts they have. Just go through it. It is more than enough for freshers. I just pinged you this website on the chat box. Everyone can access. This is a very good a blog. Apart from this, there will be lot of things, but I don't remember. I will tell you on the YouTube or wherever you have the recorded session from an IIT professors. Please go and study those. Those are very good. Very good means very good. You wanted to study VLSI or any digital subjects, there are professors who have their recorded session from, I think, IIT Kharagpur and IIT Madras. I forgot the professor name, but I have studied theirs. They have very beautifully explained the topics and the concepts. You can go and refer them and make a note of it. So whenever you are preparing for an interview or you are preparing for the semiconductor industry, please make note of yours, because you will be studying from 100 different sites, right? And at the time of, let's say, tomorrow you have an interview, Today you want to revise that, you can't go again to the Google and searching for those topic on those 100 websites now. So whenever you study, make a note of it, get your one or two notebooks ready, so that whenever there is an interview, just open, revise the notebooks, and then you are ready. Okay, this is what the tips I'll tell you. And so yeah, the answer is that there is no uh, other or any how do I say, there's a chhadi ghuma ke, there's no magic where I can tell you the website, but on YouTube and on Google or anywhere you see, in ChatGPT also, if you are using it, you should know the way where you can ask ChatGPT, give me some top websites about VLSI blocks or something, or this topic where it is beautifully described or something. It will throw you some of those, and just go and look at it, and then you decide from where you want to study. There are a lot of books. There is a book called Rabbi for digital electronics. Please, if you have in your curriculum, it is good. If it is not, you can probably go and Google if you get a PDF. It is a book by Rabbi. Let me just search you and give you an exact name. Book by Ananta Chandrasekhan, A Design Perspective. Let me just copy paste this one for you guys if you can get it. This is a very good book. Okay. And then there is a book by Razavi. For analog, I'll say not to read whole book, but Behzad Razavi is a person who has a book for analog. It's very good book. Again, those websites are there, YouTube channels. Uh, okay. So I think these are the things. Ma'am, is static timing analysis important for placement? Is a very important, very, very important, Sadvik. STA is a very vast topic. STA itself is a profile in a VLSI industry. For this STA is what I was asking you, right? I was telling you, sorry, that what is setup time, what is hold time, what is skew. All this question comes under STA. So if you're willing to go into these profiles and all, it's all timing. You can STA book is there. I'll by J Bhaskar. It's a very very nice book. Very basic. Basically, he has written, and you will understand each and everything of. You don't have to refer too many things. But yeah, this is a book by Jairam Bhaskar by J Bhaskar. Okay, I think these are the things you guys can. My mail ID is. You guys can connect me on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if everyone knows it, but you can search me. This is my mail ID. You guys can connect me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help, and whenever I'm available, I do reply or respond. This is my mail ID. I have pinged. Okay. I think if there is no more questions other than that,
Okay, ma'am. We will end the chat box session.
yeah. Do you have any other questions,
Okay.
folks? You can ask me. Feel free. Um. Okay. So, Satvik,
Uh,
gate preparation is enough for placement preparation? I believe yes, or I believe no. Because, Satvik, what happens is, uh, it doesn't go the same way because gate preparation is for competitive exam you're working. I will not say that it's not helping you. It will definitely help you, but sometime apart from this gate preparation, you need to make your resume. You have to work on your projects for getting into an industry. You need to know the basics. I'm not really sure because in the gate preparation on the basis of undergraduation, you don't have this STA questions there. So this STA part is something you need to study differently because this is related to the semiconductor or the VLSI, right? So you need to study these extra topics apart from the gate because gate don't have these topics. That's what I remember in my curriculum, right? So you can definitely refer this. And yeah, gate preparation though it's very common and it's very common technically, so you have to do that. Do we have any more questions? How is VLSI different? Okay, hi Harsh. Harsh, it's very two different streams. VLSI is all about electronics and communication industry. It's all about semiconductor, and IoT is Internet of Things, which is I think it is focuses on the design and implementation of embedded systems. So this is two different things, but the same industry have these profiles. So if you are from the IoT, doesn't mean that you don't get hired in the Intel. Intel have some of the profile which work for that, because all these vehicles or whatever this exchange data centers or something, right? This all have the profile. So this is a different profile, a different job profile, but you can get hired by the same company. Is that's what I wanted to say. I mean, okay, this is there's some other question. Okay, so yeah, that's a two different profile. To be very specific for your answer, it's different. VLSI, you are if you are asking how it is different, it means if you can go and read about IoT, you know, right? In the semiconductor, you will work on very different profiles in terms of chip designing. When I say chip designing means you have to implement those chips with the specifications you have. There are customers which will come, and there these companies, right, like Intel or TSMCs or Nvidia or ARM, or like ARM makes mostly the cores, right? ARM core processors you if you have. So they work with very high gigahertz processors, like 5 gigahertz or more than that. So this very specific. There are different design which you have work on. This is what the semiconductor industry will will do. And for the IoT, you have a different embedded system and all this implementation of embedded system mostly. So those is what the profile will look like for IoT. What is it mandatory to do aptitude preparation? See, apti is not been asked by all of the companies, Satvik. I think the specific company will have the specific criteria. Your placement coordinator should be able to answer this. You should ask whenever the company is coming, what are they looking like? So they will come with their own set of exam or interview process. How can we know about the opportunities which are available? It can be for internship. How to know that these positions are open? Any websites excluding English? Okay. See, there is not an important thing about a referral. It's you don't need a referral to get an internship, but the connection always helps. That's what the industry are, or that's what it looks like. So if you have a connection, what happens is from an external candidate, they will probably give a chance to the candidate who is connected with. Well, let's say if I'm referring to someone, I'll say, okay, this is a candidate, it's a good candidate, and if he is somewhere someone is applying on the portal, of course they will take the interview first for my candidate, because I'm directly giving it to the hiring team saying this is a candidate, right? So yeah, of course that's there. About the opportunities, whoever, like maybe especially the third year students, make get ready with your resumes first of all, and start applying. Even though you have a placement in your college, start applying to the website. So if you go for, let's say, Intel or Google or Microsoft, Nvidia, ARM, AMD, Synopsys, Cadence, you name it, all the Xilinx, and you just name the company. You go to their portals. They have this career portals where you'll get the jobs. You can drop your resumes there, apply for them, and maybe you'll get a call. Maybe not now, maybe later, right? So this is what you need to keep on trying for the opportunities. The only way is to go and find out. And apart from LinkedIn, there is this, if you see a lot of posts from the bloggers, like there is this career websites, there is this Naukri.coms, and like Naukri.coms, there are other websites which are working, like Indeed and other. If you are able to do that, make your profiles there, you'll get a call. So not a product company, but maybe service company. So in the VLSI also, there are service based companies and a product based company. Product means like Intel has their own product, TSMC own foundry, Samsung own product. These are product companies. Service based companies are like Wipro, HCL. So what they do is they're providing service to this product companies. They'll hire some third party, I mean, they'll hire the engineers and they will give it to. So let's say there is a project for me. I don't want someone to be hired permanently. What I'll go is I'll go to the Wipro and I'll ask for this particular project of 1 year, I want 10 engineers. I'll hire them from the HCL or from the other companies who are my service providers. So that's how the service companies work. So, when somebody don't get a job because getting into a product company is very tough, because of their pay scale. They want good skill set. They want a good college students and all this, whatever the criteria have these companies. So getting into a service-based company is little bit easier. Not that, but little bit easier. So you should be able to do that also. How to find projects on VLSI, how to add weight on resume. Well, Satvik, you are already from NIT graduation. So I will not suggest you to go for any of this leadership program until and unless your bandwidth is there. If you have a bandwidth, you go and study, because knowledge is limitless. You can do however you like, but to give the weightage on your resume, focus on your CGPA, focus on your projects, and then the knowledge, right? You don't have to mention, okay, this is what. Other thing is, go for your curriculum, what it is. Like if you have a training, do a training from a very good. If you can get a paid training, that's really well. Like Philips or any other companies which provide, get the trainings and get the knowledge. That's it. I will not say to have too much of a credentials in your resume, which doesn't make sense also, because already you are from a good college, right? NIT Trichy. So I will not suggest you to go for this. But if you are able to do this NPTEL certification or anything, if you have a bandwidth, you go ahead and you can do it. But it's not a mandatory thing. Okay, I hope that I have answered all the questions. Because we started late, I have stretched 8 minutes past. I hope that I am able to help everyone today, and whatever the overview I have given, I hope that it is helpful for at least up to the some extent. Okay. If no one has any question, I think we can close the sessions, Adit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all the
Um,
very
yeah,
best to all of the students here, especially the third year students who are going for the placements and all. But for the first year students also, I will suggest, and I wanted to say some things is, it's very early and it's very um start of what you are into. So you should be able to enjoy your college life, and apart from that, you should be able to decide. But deciding early always helps. I mean, clearing your brain early in your undergrad is always helpful, because that's how you can make a path later on. Let's say if you decide in your second year or third year which industry you want to, you still have got 2 more years to prepare for. Let's say if you want to do MTech or some PSUs or something, you should start preparing from your third year. If you wanted to go for MBA, you should start preparing for those competitive CAT or something from your third year. So, this is how the direction works, because first and the second year is very basic and a common subjects which you all have, and there, because it's a college life, people do enjoy. But those are my tips to everyone here, that this is what early is always a better thing. And it doesn't think that you can't change later things on. You definitely can do. You still got time. But for the third year students, if you're interested into semiconductor, don't hesitate. Please reach out to me. I'm here to help. You can connect me on LinkedIn. And yeah, I think that's all. Or the very best students.
okay, ma'am. A heartful of thanks, ma'am, for this interesting session. Your insights, knowledge, and experience have truly opened our eyes and broadened our vision on this vast field. We highly appreciate the dedication and time you have spent in the sharing your advice and expertise with us. On behalf of Probe, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to you, ma'am, for taking your busy time to schedule to speak with us today and to mentor the next generation of innovators. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. It's my
This
privilege
is
as well.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. We will end this session. This is Aditya from EC Association signing off, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditya. Thank you so much, guys. All the very best, and hope that we work together in future someday. Okay? See you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.